Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about the One Piece card game. I'm continuing my coverage of OP03 Pillars of Strength with another deck profile. This is going to be for purple if you're interested in lots of deck profiles, set analysis, loads of different One Piece content, but also content on other games. You should subscribe to the channel. 70% of you are not subscribed. I imagine that number's probably a bit higher for content like this, so please do hit that button. I would very much appreciate it. If you're interested in in-depth guides to some of the decks I am discussing, you can check those out on my Patreon, linked in the description. I think it's a very reasonable fee for the kind of stuff you're getting. You can see examples of previous metas guides on the channel as well. Please do check those out if you're curious what you might be getting. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. So, talking about Kaido today, I think Kaido is kind of far and away the best option for a purple deck in OP03, and it didn't really get much, honestly. Mainly, Kaido's playability is sort of a consequence of the fact that playing good vanillas is actually kind of good, and being able to just nuke low-cost boards happens to be very, very good into decks like Red. You're able to very effectively dismantle their boards and potentially contest, though of course you're very weak to rush, so it can kind of go either way. Let's talk about the leader effect here. Activate main, Don -7. Once per turn, you can trash the top card of your opponent's life. This is actually a very awkward effect to use, and a lot of the time you are not really going to be able to take advantage of it. You can't actually play any like rushes or anything the same turn you're going to be using that leader effect, so it can be very, very difficult to actually use your Don before you have to burn them away for that burn. Though of course there's nothing stopping you from just squirting out 3-4 units and then going, yep, cool, okay, now I burn and pass turn. Not necessarily saying that's the best play, but it's something you could do. It's just something you always want to keep in mind as an option, because it can sort of randomly secure your lethal. We're playing 4 copies of Shiki. The trigger here, Don -1 to play this card to the field. Occasionally you will want to do that. That's, you know, sometimes if you really want to contest a very early game focused board, you might have to do that. But it, you know, Shiki basically needs to be like the top card of your life, and it needs to be worth it. It's a bit niche, the situations when you're going to want to do that. Generally speaking, this is just a 2k counter. We're playing 8 3-drop 5ks, and these are just good value. You are able to discard them to protect from attacks, and you are able to, you know, secure board, contest board with them. We see a lot of vanillas seeing play in OP03, and just being able to like deal with these sorts of things is very, very valuable. Next, we are moving on to Ulti. So we're playing the Ulti Page 1 combo here. Less copies of Page 1. Generally, we're going to be using Ulti as a 2k counter anyway, so it's not like a combo you're necessarily relying on, but you do want to be playing a 4-6 vanilla regardless. It's good into Whitebeard, it's good into just the sort of big vanillas. You want to be able to swing into Marcos potentially and stuff like that, so it's just good to have. But obviously, in the situation where you do happen to have the combo, you can just slam it down. We've got 4 copies of the 5-drop Queen. This is a 6k blocker with an on-play to Don -1 to draw 2, pitch 1. This is insanely good. This is one of the best cards in purple. It lets you unbrick your hands because you're playing a lot of cards without counter. We're about to come onto them. And just being able to discard those, filter for something actually useful, filter for the potential answer you want to be seeing, is just really, really nice. We're playing 4 copies of each one of the kings. These have different uses. But like, you know, the 6-drop king is going to be better into decks where they have lots of 4 costs or below, whereas the 7-drop king is good into decks that are building sort of these wider boards. So it's actually very good into lore. It's very good into just the red decks, right? Like being able to just pop the searchers sort of en masse, preventing lots of 5k swings coming at you is very, very valuable, as well as establishing a 7k body. We've got 4 copies of 9-drop Kaido. This is a rush card, lets you pop a 5 cost or lower, lets you deal with blockers, lets you deal with things like Marco, for example. If you just want to keep hammering into that Marco, destroy their hand, this is potentially an option. Or if they don't have the hand to support like that Marco coming back, because you can always just swing into it once they revive it once, can potentially be quite a good way to ruin your opponent's hand, especially if they're willing to overcommit. I'm talking about Red very specifically here, but this is just a generally very powerful card. You'll notice no 10-drop Kaido. I think it's just a bit too slow for this format, as well as the fact that it is such a hefty Don minus that you really can't do much like on the following turns, and there's so much red that like you know for sure your opponent's just going to slam down like a rush unit and kill you on the crackback. We've got 4 copies of Gum Gum Jet Gatling. I think this is kind of necessary in purple. You really need this just to be able to discard your bricks from your hand and get 3k counter. 4 copies of Blast Breath, sorry, one of the best counters in the game, if not the best. 4 copies of Hell's Judgment, also one of the best counters in the game. Being able to split 3k onto 2 things. This is like a 2-drop 6k counter. It's incredibly valuable. Punishes bad opponents who don't swing 8, who swing 7 instead. It kind of doesn't really give them a good option, because if they swing 8, you're just going to Borrow Breath, and if you swing 7, then you're just going to Jet Gatling or Hell's Judgment, so kind of sucks either way. And then 4 copies of Onigashima, of course, Heart and Soul of the deck, letting you ramp. The biggest downside, the fact you have to hard draw it, because even in set 3, we do not have a top searcher to find the Onigashima. But there we go, that is it for this Kaido deck profile. Overall, how do I think Kaido is positioned in the meta? I think it's a little bit rough. The deck definitely does have a high ceiling, as usual, but you'll notice that basically nothing has been added from set 3 because the deck literally got nothing from set 3, like literally nothing. And you'll also notice that this deck, as it has historically been, is weak to Rush, is weak to Red, and Red is kind of S tier. So if you're playing Kaido right now, I just think you're going to be in for a little bit of pain. If you're wanting to play purple, I would swap to something 2-color and just get your purple fix that way, or just say fuck it and play Iceberg and just try something unique. You're going to lose either way, so you might as well try something new. Yeah, it really sucks, but purple is looking to be a lot better in OP04. That's all I can say. That's it for this one. I hope you guys found it useful. Like the video if you did, subscribe to the channel for more One Piece content, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Cheers.